John Forsythe. Born January 29, 1918, in Penns Grove, New Jersey, stepped into television history as Bentley Gregg, the charming, wealthy Beverly Hills bachelor attorney who traded his carefree single life for the unexpected joy of raising his teenage niece Kelly on Bachelor Father. The show ran for 157 episodes across 5 seasons, and what made it truly remarkable was that it aired on all 3 major networks: CBS, NBC, and ABC, the only primetime series in history to ever do that. The role didn't bring him Emmy Gold, but it made him a household name and laid the foundation for everything that followed. His biggest awards came later: 2 Golden Globe wins in 1983 and 1984 for Best Actor in a Drama Series for his role as oil tycoon Blake Carrington on Dynasty, plus 3 consecutive Emmy nominations for the same role. In his final years, Forsythe had quietly battled colorectal cancer, and though surgery was considered successful, the illness continued to wear him down. On April 1, 2010, at the age of 92, John Forsythe passed away at his home in Santa Ynez, California, from complications of pneumonia. Noreen Corcoran. Born October 20, 1943, in Quincy, Massachusetts, didn't even audition her way into Bachelor Father. She was personally recommended for the role by Ronald Reagan, who told producers to find a real-looking girl rather than a typical Hollywood type. That recommendation made her Kelly Gregg, the warm-hearted teenage niece at the heart of the show. And across 157 episodes, audiences watched her grow from a 13-year-old navigating high school crushes all the way to a young woman heading off to college. The role brought her no major industry awards, no Emmy, no Golden Globe, but it made her a genuine teenage icon of her era, even landing her the title of Hollywood Debutante Star of 1962. After she retired from acting in 1965, she stepped quietly behind the scenes, spending over a decade with the Lewitsky Dance Company. Then, on January 15, 2016, at the age of 72, Noreen Corcoran passed away at Valley Presbyterian Hospital in Van Nuys, California. The cause was cardiopulmonary disease. Her heart and lungs had given out. Sammee Tong. Born April 21, 1901, in San Francisco, California, didn't just play a houseboy on Bachelor Father, he completely shattered what a houseboy was supposed to be. As Peter Tong, the feisty, fast-talking, unapologetically outspoken live-in valet to John Forsythe's Bentley Gregg, he argued back, threatened to quit, lectured his employer, and stole nearly every scene across all 157 episodes at a time when Asian actors were typically handed silent, subservient background roles. John Forsythe himself said Tong's extraordinary comic timing was one of the core reasons the show worked. The industry never gave him an Emmy or a Golden Globe, but the audience was so loyal that when Bachelor Father ended, ABC immediately cast him as co-lead of a new sitcom, Mickey, alongside Mickey Rooney. On October 27, 1964, his close friend Ben Wong arrived at his apartment in Palms, Los Angeles, and found him dead. An empty bottle of sleeping pills lay nearby. Notes were left for his landlady, his attorney, and the police. The one for the police said simply, "I have taken my own life. No one is to blame." He was 63 years old. Sammee Tong was buried at Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Glendale, California. Bernadette Withers. Born February 5, 1946, in Los Angeles, California, found her way into show business through a chance conversation at a bus stop. A stranger told her mother she should look into acting for her daughter, and within days she had an agent. She landed the role of Ginger Farrell, Kelly Gregg's bubbly, fast-talking best friend on Bachelor Father, and held that spot for 51 episodes across 5 seasons. Ginger's last name changed 3 times throughout the series: Farrell, Loomis, Mitchell, but her fast-talking delivery and easy chemistry with Noreen Corcoran stayed consistent throughout. No major award nominations came her way, but she worked constantly alongside the biggest names in 1950s and 60s family television, from Leave It to Beaver to My 3 Sons to The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet. She retired from acting at 21, went to college, and eventually built a second career in the tech industry, working for years with Oracle. Later in life, she moved to Texas to be closer to her family. Then, unexpectedly, on October 25, 2019, at the age 73, Bernadette Withers passed away in Dana Point, California after a brief illness. Jimmy Boyd, born January 9, 1939 in J.S., Mississippi, was only 13 years old when he walked into a Columbia Records studio and recorded a little Christmas song that sold over 2 million copies in under 10 weeks. I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus hit #1, made him a national sensation, and briefly got banned by the Catholic Archdiocese of Boston until Jimmy sat down with church officials and explained, quite patiently, that Santa Claus was actually the dad in the story. He later brought that same awkward, lovable teenage energy to his recurring role as Howard Meacham on Bachelor Father, Kelly's bumbling, sweet on and off boyfriend who appeared in 37 episodes and once told a girl she was not as fat as she used to be as a genuine compliment. On March 7, 2009, at the age of 70, Jimmy Boyd died of cancer at a convalescent hospital in Santa Monica, California. Ane Langdon, born March 8, 1936, in Paterson, New Jersey, began her entertainment career singing at Radio City Music Hall before television came calling. On Bachelor Father, she played Kitty Marsh, one of Bentley Gregg's charming, capable secretaries, appearing in 16 episodes during the show's NBC run from 1959 to 1961. She brought her signature perky energy to every scene, and while the role didn't earn her any award recognition, it helped build the reputation that carried her forward. Her defining moment came with the CBS sitcom Ane from 1970 to 1972, where she played Lillian Nouveau, earning a Golden Globe nomination in 1971 and winning the Golden Globe Award for Best Supporting Actress in Television in 1972. Now 90 years old and celebrated every March, Ane Langdon remains one of the last living treasures from the golden age of American television. She retired from acting in 1991 and settled into a quiet life on her ranch in the San Fernando Valley, where she became a devoted collector of antique Monterey furniture. Zell Moore, born May 14, 1916, in Pensacola, Florida, had one of those voices that made television feel like a warm living room, smooth, precise, and always carrying just enough humor underneath the surface. He built his career through radio before becoming one of the most reliable comedic supporting faces of 1950s and 60s television. On Bachelor Father, Moore played Cal Mitchell, Bentley Gregg's steady, dependable golfing buddy, appearing in roughly 11 episodes between 1960 and 1962. No award nominations came for the role, but his reputation as a master straight man had already been earned through years opposite Betty White in Life with Elizabeth, and then cemented forever as the exasperated university president Dr. Warfield in Jerry Lewis's The Nutty Professor in 1963. He also holds a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, awarded in 1960 for his television work. Then, without any warning, on August 30, 1970, at the age of 54, Zell Moore died of a cerebral hemorrhage in Encino, California. Victor Sen Yung, born October 18, 1915, in San Francisco, California, graduated from UC Berkeley with a degree in economics, and then Hollywood pulled him in a completely different direction. On Bachelor Father, he played Cousin Charlie, a slick, fast-talking, cheerfully scheming Americanized character who brought chaos and comedy to the show's final seasons. Asian rights activists specifically praised the role for breaking from the passive, stereotyped portrayals that confine nearly every Asian actor of that era. No major industry awards came for it, but his place in television history was already secured through Hop Sing, the fiercely loyal, hilariously volcanic cook of the Cartwright family on Bonanza, a role he played for 107 episodes across 14 seasons. He even survived a real-life airline hijacking in 1972, taking a bullet to his back during the FBI rescue, and went right back to work. His end came from something far quieter. Around November 1, 1980, Victor Sen Yung was alone in his North Hollywood home, using his kitchen stove to cure pottery for a small mail-order business he ran. The stove leaked. The gas filled the room while he slept. He never woke up. His body wasn't found until November 9th, when his friend Robert Bond, unable to reach him by phone and noticing the smell of gas, finally came inside. Victor Sen Yung was 65 years old. His Bonanza co-star Pernell Roberts paid for the funeral and delivered the eulogy. He is buried at Greenlawn Memorial Park in Colma, California. Harry Von Zell, born July 11, 1906, in Indianapolis, Indiana, became famous in 1931 for one of the most legendary bloopers in broadcasting history, live on national radio. While delivering a birthday tribute to President Herbert Hoover, he stumbled and introduced the sitting President of the United States as Hubert Heaver. The country laughed, his career survived, and that moment followed him everywhere like a badge of honor for the next 50 years. He became one of the busiest voices of radio's golden age, sometimes announcing 20 network shows in a single week. On Bachelor Father, Von Zell appeared in 5 episodes between 1960 and 1961 as Frank Curtis, a warm, slightly bewildered friend and neighbor to Bentley Gregg, the same dignified but flustered energy he had perfected alongside George Burns and Gracie Allen on their legendary CBS show. On November 21, 1981, Harry Von Zell died of cancer at the Motion Picture and Television Country House and Hospital in Woodland Hills, California.